Hello and happy Friday. I am so excited to chat today about one of my favorite topics, which is professional development. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Bryson Tarbett, and I'm an instructional coach and elementary music specialist based here in Columbus, Ohio. And I'm also the host and founder of the Elementary Music Summit. If you haven't heard, we are hosting a free professional development summit specifically created for elementary music teachers this weekend. If you haven't already grabbed your ticket, just DM me the word refresh 26 or head on over to thatmusicteacher.com/summit to claim your free ticket. We're going to be kicking things off tonight with a kickoff call at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then sessions start tomorrow morning and go through Saturday afternoon. We have over 8 hours of professional development specifically created by elementary music teachers for elementary music teachers so that we can get you off of Music Teacher Island and get you PD and professional development that actually matters. So first of all, if you are here joining me live, if you could do me a huge favor, if you could just let me know that you can hear me and that there aren't any tech gremlins being weird. We've had some strange things happening behind the scenes here at That Music Teacher this week, and I just want to make sure that everything is good to go and for us to have this conversation about what the point of professional development is. Because there's a lot of answers for that question, and I think depending on who you ask, you're going to get a different response. And I think that is where the complexities of education kind of come into play. Hello. So, what is the point of professional development? I'm curious. What do you think? If you are here live or if you're watching the replay, let us know in the comments. What do you think the point of professional development is? I would love to hear your thoughts. Oftentimes, when we ask this question, I'll hear questions like, or things like, "All right, we're going to renew your license." Okay, that could be an answer. Sometimes I hear things like it's to help us go one step further, and it's going to allow us to learn new strategies or figure out how to better engage our students or to try new things, or even going full on Miss Frizzle, make mistakes, get messy, do all the things. But is that really the point? And is what we're doing in the real world, is the professional development that we're actually receiving in line with the goal of what professional development should be? If you know anything about me, you'll know that I'm very vocal in the fact that I really don't think professional development, at least in the elementary music world, matches up with what the actual goal is. For me, I think the point of professional development is to support teachers so that they can support their students. Sometimes we miss the mark. Sometimes we get really great PD, but most of the time districts are missing the mark for a lot of reasons. One, they might just not know what we need. But a lot of times there's just not enough of us to be squeaky wheels enough to make it a worthwhile investment. And I hate saying that because we should all get PD that matters, not just the reading teachers or the math teachers. Sorry, I'm getting a little hot, so I'm taking off the jacket. Well, we should all be able to have that kind of support, but we don't often see that. And I think that's where we miss the mark. So professional development can be, I've been in all of that. I've been in the good, bad, and the ugly. I've seen some incredible professional development that's changed my life. For instance, my master's degree was the favorite thing I've ever done. That helped me develop professionally for sure. But I've also been in some really bad professional development. I've been in some PD that is just completely missing the mark, where the whole point is teacher self-care, but we all end up leaving like even more stressed out than we did when we started. Missing the mark, right? And I think when we really strip away all of the compliance, all of the, well, this state says I have to have this thing, but we're going to call it this, and we think about professional development, just those words, the goal should be for us to learn new things. New knowledge is, what my district always said, new knowledge to help us do what we need to do. And that's where I love what I get to do here at That Music Teacher, which is helping connect educators from around the world with professional development that is exactly that, new knowledge that is directly connected to the reality of teaching in the elementary music classroom. So for instance, in this weekend's summit, we have sessions ranging the whole gamut. We have some things about classroom organization. We have some things about planning a program where it doesn't take over your curriculum. We have things all about transitions, and I love transitions because it saves us time and helps us really use all of our content time. All of these things come together and really help us figure out who we are as teachers and figure out what our students need from us. If you've been around with me before, you may have figured out that I have 5 guiding pillars that I use for pretty much everything I do. Um, I use it for our signature course, General Music Jumpstart, but we also use it inside Elementary Music Edge, our membership, to kind of serve as categories for our workshops. But we also use them when we're coming up with different topics and things like that for our conference. And those are the 5 pillars of general music success. So those are expectations and procedures, approaches and pedagogy, inclusion and differentiation, curriculum and planning, and my favorite one, teacher fulfillment. I truly believe that all of the professional development that we receive, anything training, any books we read, podcasts we listen to, if they're going to help us in one of those areas and they're related to what we actually teach, they're probably going to be a good investment of time. And that's why I love being able to provide professional development and really signal boost a lot of amazing content creators and educators and coaches from around the world through events like the Elementary Music Summit to allow us to strip away all the hootenanny and get everything else gone and really focus on what do I need so I can be a better teacher tomorrow. I want to address an elephant in the room because this is something that I hear nonstop is that teachers are overwhelmed. They don't have time to add one more thing, and they're trying to find a better balance between work and home. I support all of those things. I think you should have a good balance between work and home. I feel like you should be able to walk into your classroom feeling ready to go and knowing exactly what you're doing rather than feeling like your hair's on fire and you're just trying to survive from one class to the next. But here I am also saying there's some professional development on the weekend. And that might seem like a little bit of a disconnect because I'm saying, yeah, take your time. Don't work outside of contract hours, do all these things. But here's some professional development that your district's not going to pay you for on the weekend. And I get it. And if that's where you're at in life, I support that. If you don't want to join us for the Elementary Music Summit this weekend because you're like, you know what, it is my weekend. I'm going to do what I want with it. And I don't want to do that. I support that decision. If you want to grab the replays, we can talk a different story. But even if you're just like, nope, this ain't for me, I support that decision. But if you're sitting there waiting for something to happen or for a new piece of information or a new book or a new podcast or something to kind of become that game changer to help you get through and survive and get beyond surviving and actually thrive through spring break, that's where this investment of time, I think, could be really beneficial. Some things that I want to ask, when you're thinking about, is this a waste of time or is this an investment? And I think just kind of when you're thinking about, let's think of it like money, right? An investment is something where you're putting money in, expecting to get more out. And I think when we're like looking through professional development and say, hey, is this going to be a good investment? Are you going to get more time out of it or more benefit out of it than the time that you're putting in? So, for instance, if you go to a training on transitions like we have this weekend, all right, it's a 30-minute training. Do you think over the course of a year, you can reclaim 30 minutes of instructional time by following the strategies that we talk about? I think you could. But maybe that's not what you're struggling with. Maybe you're struggling with because you love doing performances, but you hate coming up with them. It takes way too long. Well, then we can go in and say, all right, how can we go through the strategies and learn how to create our brand new performance in a fraction of the time in a way that's still joyful, still engaging our students, and again, not making us want to pull our hair out? Is that investment of time worth it to you? If it's not, that's fine. I support that decision entirely. But we have at this point, well over 4,000 attendees who have claimed their free ticket to the Elementary Music Summit this weekend because they're ready to take the next step, to learn something new, to get some new strategies, to connect with other people who understand the realities of their teaching so that they can go from just praying to get through the day to feeling like they can walk into their classroom ready to do what they need to do, ready to engage students, ready to balance the incredibly diverse needs of all of our students that are in front of us and how they can change from day to day. That is what good, high quality, content specific professional development can do for you. Is it really allows you to buy back that anxiety, to get rid of it, to take a moment and feel confident, to feel like even if even if this ends up not working the way I think it is, I at least know that it was a step in the right direction. That is my favorite part about being and doing what I do here at That Music Teacher, is getting to hear from teachers who are ready for a change, who are ready to try something new but don't know where to get it, who are ready for some different strategies and things to implement in their classroom so that they can feel more confident in January and kind of have a good end of the year so that when they get to May or June, they're not incredibly burned out. They might still be a little burned out. I hope you won't, but let's be honest, there's a lot going on. But my hope is that by implementing some of the small changes that you'll learn from some of the strategies and ideas and lesson ideas from the Elementary Music Summit this weekend, you'll be able to make some shifts in your teaching that is going to make teaching more sustainable for you, to make it more joyful for you, to make it less chaotic for you. Because all of those things come together into figuring out who we are as a teacher. One of my friends, Grace Stevens, she was in the corporate world, then she went into teaching, and then she went into coaching people, teachers, how to find a balance. And one of the things that I love that she says is that your energy teaches more than your lesson plans. And I love that, but I also hate it. Because let's be honest, we've all walked into a classroom and we are so burnt out that our energy is awful. Our students are picking up on that, whether we think they are or not. So what can we do now when we aren't already incredibly burnt out? At least maybe we're starting, but we're still on the beginning end of it. What can we do now to implement some new strategies, to try some new lesson ideas so that the rest of the school year can be a success? And that's where professional development comes in. That's where new knowledge comes in. And answering the question of this feed, which is, what is the point of professional development? To me, that is the point. So teachers feel they are supported so that they can support their students in their learning. So all that to say, if you have not already claimed your ticket, your free ticket to the Elementary Music Summit January Refresh, it is not too late to join us. You can head on over to thatmusicteacher.com/summit, grab your ticket. We have over 8 hours of professional development. Again, the kickoff calls tonight at 8 p.m. Hey, if you already have your ticket, be sure to join us. We're going to be doing some giveaways that you have to be live to join. Or you have to be joining live in order to win. But we're going to be kicking things off in earnest tomorrow morning with some professional development specifically created by elementary music teachers for elementary music teachers. I want to leave you there with that. And I want to end this live stream the way I end all things, the way I end my sessions, the way I end my podcast episodes, the way I end my coaching calls. And I want to look at you. I'm going to kind of do eye contact because, again, we're on a computer, so you're not really here. I know that teaching can be really, really hard. I know that you might be sitting there burnt out, ready to throw in the towel. And you're like, dude, I just got back from winter break. How am I already this frustrated? First of all, if you're feeling that, take a breath. Acknowledge it, accept it, but let's do something about it. And as always, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being you and for doing what you do. And thank you for making a difference in the lives of the students that you teach. I hope you can join us for the Elementary Music Summit January Refresh this weekend. If you can't join us live, register anyway so you can grab those replays. And I hope to see you tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern for our live kickoff call for the 6th summit. It's our 6th summit that we've done. The 3rd January summit, 6 in total, which is wild to me. I hope you can join us. It's going to be an absolute blast, and I'll talk to you soon.